modules allow you to select libraries from the included files and export them. The module is written more than one function or variable. The module can specify the module is returning a single function. The property module exports can instead starting a new node.js implement. Yeah, so we can do npm. I have already done that for starting a new project, node project. So we can create it by npm if you wanna do that. Simple. So that is not a standard to now we follow, but I am trying to follow this book. So this let's follow what the conventions this book tells, so we can learn something from this book. Five flags for saying yes and not giving anything. Okay, creating module. Modules can be either single files or directories containing one or more files. As you can see in figure here, that was the file. So modules can be either single directories. Yes, this is directories. As we know, it is a if a module is a directory, the file in the module directory that will. So my goal is in this book to learn something that I don't know. I know the practical implementation of Node.js well, but I wanna know a language where I can learn something that can help me. Let's try this weekend, so why not? To create a typical module, you create a file that defines properties. So nowadays we do like type module. So module or conjugate. So that will give us the ability to say like import from and export, because each file is like acts like now a module. So back then I think that was not the option. That's why it is from 2017 I think the book is. So let's follow it. Not only currency model, currency model. Okay. So function random to amount method round 100. Export Canadian. Okay. Canadian dollars. Note that only two properties exports. Okay. No, I don't think that will work. Let's try. Test. It's pretty messy, right? I don't know. I will try it. Fine tuning node creation by using how people code, but it's not that long actually. Class. Okay, constructor units, constructor around 47. Okay, what is exported? I don't think that's useful for me. Yeah, this looks pretty messy. Exploring cavities. Cavities. Although within the sense of the nodes module system is straightforward, you should be aware of 2 points. First, the module is a directory. Okay, the file is So what we are very first if a model is a directory, the file is in the module directory that will be evaluated must be named an index.js. Hmm. Unless specified otherwise. That doesn't mean matter if you can give anything here. You can that's the convention we can do index.js, server.js, whatever you want, main.js. But okay, package file must contain JavaScript. Yeah, no, that's okay. The main file figures 2.6. Okay, module directory found contains packages in yes, no, does file exist through exception and okay. Yeah, so that graph tells us that the main file exists or not, and the main file is defined in this module package or JSON. So this file can be like if you have the code and source too, then we like source directory and index.js J sorry index then we give like source dot source index.js. So just a weird convention file. Okay, I'm not doing that for now. I will delete. Okay. An example con main currency, yeah, that's right what I was talking about. The other thing is to be aware of not just able to cache module. Yeah, I have wondered a lot of time I had to clear the cache. Nothing works if not. If two files in an application require the same module, first require will store the data and return. I haven't used require in a lot of time like this convention import and export, but okay. Evaluates the module source file. This means loading a module with require in the same process. It has the same object. Imagine you have built the MVC web application that has a main app object. You can set up the app object, export it, and then requires it from anywhere within the project. If you have added useful configuration values to the app, you can access those values from other files, giving a directory structure. Okay, yeah, we do that. Like when we build projects, like when we build controllers, something like auth control controller. Sorry, I don't auto control Georgia. Yeah, that's pretty good. We do that. We can do that. Yeah, delete it. I don't want it right now. So the how this works? Yeah, we know. Okay, that's normal thing. Choosing asynchronous programming technique. Yeah, that term is basically just a simple thing. Just use a sync and await when you send data to when you are expecting data from the database, then just use await. It will be fine. Give the function like just for a thing. I can show you like no like um, app dot okay what's that no app This is not allowing me dot get something anyway like something anything and then just give a string request response. What's happening here? Request response and arrow function as simple and await user. We give user dot module dot find, right? And sorry, user dot find one by id, like a lot of id or email. We can give email, right, for finding a user in database. That's very good. This is the asynchronous program, nothing else. Let's move on. So callback did not a good idea right now. Callback doesn't, it doesn't allow callback. It can be tricky or malicious nowadays, so it's best practice to not allow that. Terminate. Sorry for that. Let's continue. So, handling one of events with callbacks is not a good practice nowadays. Let's see. A callback is a function passed as an argument to an asynchronous function that disguise what do after the asynchronous function operation has completed. Callbacks are used frequently in node development more than event emitters, and they are simple to use. Demonstrate the use of callback in application. Let's see how make a simple HTTP server that does the following functions and items. That is push get list of post items so we can manage a quick tree. So basic HTML using callbacks, simple callbacks. What they are saying is key that import a module. This is a HTTP is a built-in module. The node has it, so we don't have to install it. Constant HTTP, okay. A file that's fs files that is also our built-in module. Yeah, this is the usual way for no package. If we don't have express and all, we create server like this. HTTP TTP create server, right? So that's the nobody uses is like, but it's good for the information. If you don't want it, just use HTTP create server. That's conventional, right? Nice way. Yeah, if they are suggesting if request.url is home page, just the home page. Okay, so fs.read file titles.json. Okay, this is JSON file they are saying, and they want to read it. Error handle data if console.error solution. I usually do the other way actually. Like if case number, that's okay too. Error data, yeah, that's true. That's a nice way to. Else, if yeah, that's good thing. So if we can like while I was coding in Golang the other days, I seen like error is not occurring, then go on, move on. So that's a good thing I have learned from this book. But I usually use try catch, so I don't think I need it. But why not? Uh, this convince is pretty good. Analysis on the spot data testing is simple thing. HTML template. Okay. Template demos. That's the file they are saying we will get it. Yeah, right hand we just send data like that. Good thing. I have done this a lot of time. I don't know it. HTTP create server. Okay. So what is there? If this is something to learn. Yeah, using three levels isn't bad, but the more levels of callback you use, and the harder it is to refactor and test. It is good to limit callback nesting by creating name function and that handle the individual levels of. So it is this work is taking from beginner to more refactoring. I got it. You can express the same logic in a way that requires more lines of code, but that could be easier to maintain. Test or refactor. So the they are saying writing more code is not a problem, but we have to mm, write a code like that so we can maintain it. It should be easy to test, and if something happened, then it should be good for it. Okay, that's a quite a nice philosophy, I think. So what they are doing now, they are creating server. Yeah, just keep it in other file like index.js. We keep it in main file server.js like and import it in there. Get titles. We usually keep it in controller that part and give routes. We can export it like you export here and export function exported this everything in a separate controller, or we can say do separate files to that circuit too. But okay, okay. There, so we usually do like nowadays we usually do like we have React, so React and we have framework like Next.js and Vite and so on, so many others. Vue and single simple React and we can do XU, use XUs for API connections, getting API data from the XUs. So we can do that. So they are they are not doing that, but they are just using a single embedded. They are sending HTML data from the backend. So that's they are not using any front end. Okay, that's and text HTML. You can see text HTML. You don't use that. Oh, it's nice way. So for error, we nowadays we use like custom errors. Like mm, we just describe the error and error name and a separate function for that. And separately abstract everything nowadays. So you can okay, you can also reduce nested calls slash move on. You can also reduce the nesting caused by the if else blocks with another common idioms in Node.js development, returning early from a function. The following listed is a functionally the same but avoid further nesting by returning early. If wait a minute. I got this second obvious, so let's if you are watching then just hit the like or subscribe. Okay, let's move on. So what they are saying is just if error return and error, yeah, they are just using that I told that template read file is standard. Yeah, that's a good thing. But we don't use that now, so move on the node convention for asynchronous callbacks. Okay, that's node check. Most node built-in modules use callbacks with two arguments. The first argument is for an error should one occur. A second argument is for the result. The error argument is often abbreviated as error. Yeah, they are saying this through error. Okay. Error, if not error, then data. That doesn't mean anything actually. It's just a convention through error. We can do data here, error there, and use the thing like that. Like, but if this is the best way because we don't work alone, so we should use the best conventions we can. All that members of team agree on, so okay, let's move on. Handling repeating events with event emitters. So event emitters fire events and includes ability to handle those events when triggered. Some important Node API components such as HTTP server, TCP servers, and streams are implemented as event emitters. Okay, nice information. I didn't know that. Nice note. Can take. We can take a note here. Event emitters fire events and include the ability to handle those events when triggered. Some important Node API components are such as HTTP server, TCP servers, and streams are implemented as event emitter. I know these are events, but I want as event emitters. I didn't know that. You can create your own. I had idea, but I don't know that. I will not know the term before. See, as you mentioned earlier, events are handled through the use of listeners. Yeah, listener is the association of an event with callback function that gets triggered for each time. So some node models don't allow that now. So like, so they say that's not a good thing. Each time the event triggers, for example, socket in node has event called data that triggers socket on data. Yeah, that's pretty it. Sockets are not that difficult. That's pretty simple. Just a way to say. I implemented seven and it's pretty simple. Just pretty. If everything was fine, sockets are pretty good. For shock with the library socket.io that uh, sometimes sockets goes down. Like functions close up. I'm learning. We'll see. So a simple example of repeated events occurs in an eco server. Okay, what is a eco server? When you send data to an echo server, it echoes the data because back. Oh, sorry, becoming back. So yeah, this is when suppose we are building a game or like real-time chat systems, chat app like messaging app or video calling system. Not video calling, video calling we have RTC. Messaging and chat apps. So when we use chat apps, so we have rooms like room for we have to have two people to send converse, not two people but for if user is connected real time chat we need to we user is connected when user logins in the application, the certain we throw event that user should connect to a socket for real-time conversation converting. Yeah, that's what you would say. And if he logs out or he or she logs out, and it says shows the message disconnect, and it's pretty standard if you are developing, but in production it's pretty it can be tricky. Can be pretty tricky. I don't have that much experience, but I know. So yeah, this can use an on method and respond at events. Data events are in. Yeah, that's true. So using the on method to respond to events. Yeah, that's pretty it. So when we develop SAC, it's like server. So it's pretty good thing. Like we have to use server, but if we can create server, then we need an app to. We actually nowadays use conventions. We use app like Constant App, Express, like Express. We use app as Express application and create server when we serve do a different like this. Yeah, that's pretty tuning. Okay. Hmm. Tell Telnet on Windows. If we are using the Microsoft Windows operating system, Telnet may not be installed by default. You will have to install it. I don't know. Respond to an event should occur only once. So that's a bit tricky when we use socket like nowadays we use socket to it happens twice actually. So when you click the user, you will when your user login and you console.log, if you test it in your localhost, then you can see there is two users like if you are using Vite or something other platform, yeah, framework. Sorry, we are using frameworks. So then we use like strict mode nowadays. So when we the strict mode it connects the socket two times. So when a user connected or login in your app, uh, you can see a user is connected. A user is connected. That that echo backs twice. So that's pretty it. So this doesn't work simple nowadays. Sorry, it doesn't work in standard modern responsive web applications. Okay, let's move on. Creating event emitters, a publish subscriber example. Yeah, we call it for pops up. Sort for pops up. Sort is for so you need a built-in Node API that uses event emitters. Node.js built-in event module, however, allows you to create your own event emitters. The following code defines a channel event emitter with a single listener that responds to someone joining the channel. Note that you use on or alternatively the longer form add listener. Okay, one thing. Okay, I got one thing. So for longer connection, we should use add listener. I will try this next step. What is the difference actually? Like the timeline? Let's see then if to add listener to an event. Constant require dot event emitter, constant channel new event emitter, channel dot on, join, cancel dot welcome. The join callback, however, won't ever be called because you haven't emitted any events yet. You should add a line to listen that would trigger an event using the emit function channel dot. Yeah, so uh, okay, so where I have used it. So yeah, when we use that to develop, like we use socket.io for stepping sockets connections, then we emit that. So when it's like io.emit user message data and something whichever you want that spit out the data. Yeah, I think this is talking about that event. Okay, so events name. Events are key that can have any string value, data, join, or some crazy long event name. Okay, only one event called error.js is special. Sorry, just error. It is special, and you'll look at it soon. You will look at it soon. Okay, let's look at how you could implement your own publish subs, power subs logic by using event emitter to make communication channel. If you run the script in listing 2.1, where is 2.1? So you will have a simple chat server. A chat server channel is implemented as an event emitter that responds to join events emitted by clients. What a client joins. When a client joins the channel join the join listener logic in turn adds an additional client specific listener to the channel for broadcast event that will write any message broadcast to the client socket. The names of the event types such as join broadcast are completely arbitrary. You could use other names for these event types if you wish. Yeah, like login them when we see chat and we give a little blinker in profile photo avatar or avatar we say like, and then we give a green light type circle that's client subscription join. Yeah, we use join channel dot join. We just use shackle dot join and function give id sender id. Yeah, it's pretty simple thing, not a bad broadcast. We can do anything actually. Subject one id and listen emit join. Okay, that's simple. After you have the client server running, you need a command. Telnet. I don't know that, but short thing. Telnet. I didn't know that. If you open a few command lines, you will see the same thing. Like the problem with this chat server is that when you just close their connection and leave the chat room, they leave behind listener that event attempt to write. So just socket dot off, right? Socket dot off. Yeah, socket dot close. Socket dot off, right? It's gone. Yeah, I think it's channel dot on. So what else? Socket and close event listener to remove the leave event. Yes, when we do that, remove listener. Okay. find out close. Yeah. Yeah, which then I think we do it like this because I have implemented when we log out, then we see a message it is usually disconnected and this is the way, right? Error handling and conversion usually yeah, it's pretty simple. Error down message template is even a file watcher example. Yeah, that's pretty simple thing. Like we change anything and then for file and event is triggered that something has changed and we can look up that file. It's pretty thing. It's pretty good example of class and structure. We don't use that. Challenges with asynchronous development. When creating asynchronous application, you have to pay close attention to the way your application flows and keep a watchful eye on the application state. The condition of the event loop, application variables, and any other resource that change as program logic executed. Node events loop, for example, keeps tracks of asynchronous logic that hasn't completed processing. As long as there is a incomplete asynchronous logic, the node process won't exit. A continually running node process is desirable behavior for something like a web server, but it is not desirable to continue running processes that are expected to end after a period of time, such as command line tools, the event loops keep tracking of any database connection until they are closed, preventing node from exiting. The application variables can also change unexpectedly. If you are not useful listening, so an example of how the order in which asynchronous code executes can lead to confusion. If the example code was executing synchronously, you would expect the output to be the color is blue. Okay. For the example of the asynchronous, however, variables changes before console log. Something we will try to make. It's not a big thing actually. That time out, just simple thing. Just don't overcomplicate it. Complicated sequencing and synchronous logic. Actually, if you get it, you get it. If you not, I can't explain you that. I'm not that good enough of an explainer. I think when to use serial flow control. Tell number second. Shut timeout. You can see this pretty bad. Asynchronous stage. You can do stage. Implementing serial flow. That's pretty. We will do this tomorrow actually. Detail. I will. Yeah. Let's move on to. We will do this advanced thing tomorrow actually. Yeah. That's the time. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. If you are watching later, then thank you for watching and get subscribe, like, and comment if you have any feedback. Uh, I will be doing this on right now basis. Like I will be coding problem solving. Like I have done tomorrow's. Sorry, yesterday something. So I have solved vowels constant problem where we have done like uh, well, there was vowel equal number. We have to find the subarrays where the number of vowels are equal number of constant. Then it is a valid subarray. So we have done that, and it was pretty cool. Just use it prefix some logic and hash mapping for obvious reason. So that's it. If you like this kind of division or coding, hit the like, subscribe, and follow, or and just hit the bell icon. So I don't plan it if I have a time and just go live. So thank you. Peace out. See you in another one. Take care.